We are at a crucial turning point for the evolution of our consciousness. Most of the people that are talking about this and commenting on this, many of them are what's called controlled opposition as well. Psychological operations are insidious and brilliant because once your attention has been harvested, it changes the inner world and the outer world. Your life force is being used to create realities that you do not want. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you the truth behind the drones. And the so-called experts who are telling you what's going on, they're not telling you the truth. Spoiler alert, they're in on it. Now, if you stick around until the end, you're going to have a clear understanding of what is really going on. Let's get to it. Welcome, everyone. I thought I would share my insights and takeaway in regards to the drone phenomenon that is taking place in New York, New Jersey, and a couple other states. So I want to share with you what it is that I can tangibly understand and take away from the situation. So what I've done is I've taken 178 bullet points that I'm just going to briefly go over. No, I'm kidding. It's not 178 bullet points. No, not at all. I'm joking. Okay. But what I do want us to start to look at is reality creation and how it really works. There's a class I'm going to be teaching in regards to how to put yourself on the highest timeline, what a timeline is, how it really works, what are the signs that you're doing it or not doing it. And this actually is a perfect example of reality creation and what not to do. Okay. So that is pinned in the comments below. So if you're interested in how to put yourself on the highest timeline, I'll be teaching a class and going over the most prevalent signs about whether you're doing it or not doing it, and then how to do it. Okay. So we look at this phenomenon going on, right? It has been a major distraction. A major distraction. With no tangible takeaway as to what is really going on. So let's break this down. Let's look at distraction. How are we distracted? It's through our attention, right? So where your attention goes, your energy flows. And whatever you put your attention on grows. So we are now putting our attention, which is our energy, which is our life force, which is our most precious resource, and we're putting it on something where there's no tangible takeaway as to what is really going on. So what is actually happening then as we allow ourselves to be distracted? Whether it's real or stage, whether it's just another psychological operation, or it's actual aliens, or it's the government, or the shadow government, or this or that. Okay. When we put our attention on something, especially on something that promotes uncertainty, fear, and anxiety, we are creating that inner reality for ourselves, and that is what is reflected outward. So in other words, we are creating an outer reality, first the inner reality. We're creating an outer reality based upon reactionary, fear-based, and a not knowing state. So I want everyone to see this clearly. Again, where your attention goes, your energy flows. And wherever your energy flows, it grows. Important to understand this. Second thing is, how do we feel as we reach out to figure out what is going on? What is the state of being that you're in? What is your state of consciousness that you're in as you reach out? Examine that. Because once your attention has been harvested, it changes the inner world and the outer world. So we are reaching out from a disempowered state, a state of fear, a state of not knowing. So we are cultivating that within, and then that is the reality that we are creating. Psychological operations are insidious and brilliant. And it's because it understands and encapsulates three of the more important elements of reality creation itself. Now, those three elements are desire, intention, and attention. Desire, intention, and attention. Now, in terms of the order of creation, desire, then intention, then thought, then emotion, action, and then behavior. Desire being the most open to pure imagination with limitless possibilities, to behavior, which is mindless, non-self-aware, repeatable actions. So we go from the highest state of consciousness where we're most powerful to create the reality that we truly desire, all the way down to the least powerful state and the most limited in terms of what it is that we can create if we're just repeating unconscious behaviors. Okay, so when we take desire, attention, and intention, it is literally the power of creation itself. Literally. Those three things. Now, attention is the key component. Attention is the new oil, because as I said, attention is energy. It's your most precious life force. You use your energy for everything, for absolutely everything. So once it's harvested, you're actually creating something that is not germane to your true desire. It will be aligned with someone else's or something else's desire for what it is they want you to create. Don't ever forget what I just said. So if we begin to examine our state of being as we're reaching out, it's not from an empowered state, it's not from a calm state, it's not from an empowered state. So we're going to be creating out of the reactionary reptilian brain mind. We will build it for them based upon us being in that state as we reach out. And you cannot build or create anything other than what your attention is upon. It's impossible to create anything other than what your attention is upon. You cannot have your attention upon something that is disempowering and create something empowering. Now you see how important attention is. And then the desire is being held captive by your attention because your desire is to understand what's really going on, which you're not going to be able to, because physical sensory perception is the data stream that informs and creates the intellect, which is a program of logic and linearity. It does not decode intention, and it cannot decode multiple agendas occurring at the same time. The finite mind is always about it's either this or it's that. It's either right or it's wrong. It's either good or it's bad. Nonsense. Nonsense. So it's a fool's endeavor to put our attention on a distraction and try to figure it out. And we can do a quick test in regards to this. You have this question about the drones. Is it real? Is it staged? Is it aliens? Is it a psychological operation? Is it Project Bluebeam? Is it this? Is it that? Okay, just do this. Give yourself whatever answer that you want to that burning question. Give yourself whatever answer you like. Feel better? No? This is profound. We have just realized that it doesn't matter what the answer is. We still don't feel better, and the questions don't stop. So the answers are irrelevant. What does that mean? It's because the questions don't matter. That's why. It is living and creating from the lower fight or flight, fear-based reptilian brain. That is the purpose of distractions and psychological operations. That, what I just said. Now, if we decided that these distractions aren't even really distractions, it's just things playing in the background that we have no direct control over in any way, shape, or form, never, ever preoccupy your mind with something that you can't control. So as these things just play out, and they're going to, whether you do something about it or not, but if we can detach through non-identification and not trying to figure out, just follow me. If we could just observe from a detached state, without identifying, getting mentally or emotionally caught up in what is happening, which is the harnessing of your attention. So if we allow our energy to stay within ourselves through detachment, what will happen is we will gain discernment, because through that detachment, our inner guidance system is turned on and truth will resonate. Truth will resonate. And you'll be able to feel into the inauthenticity of things, as well as the authenticity of things. So oddly enough, it's not through mental machinations or figuring out. It's actually from the opposite. It's from a detached perspective will give you discernment by turning on your inner guidance system. That's really the key. Now, we are starting to take or put our hands around being an immortal creator rather than just being a consumer. And really, the consumerism is based upon your life force, which is your attention. Now, it gets more, not complicated, that's not the right word, but when we start to factor into all the different agendas by all the different groups of beings that are involved, our finite mind thinks it's this or that, it's good or bad, it's right or wrong. No, that is not how things are at all. That is not how things are at all. We oftentimes seek out or search certain people to see what their opinion is. It doesn't matter what someone else's opinion is. Most of the people that are talking about this and commenting on this, many of them are what's called controlled opposition as well. So you think you're getting a perspective of truth from someone. Well, meanwhile, they have some truth in it, but because they have been compromised, they hide the real truth or the bigger truth. Controlled opposition is also involved in psychological operations through the war of trying to harness your attention, which is your life force, which is actually what creates inner and outer reality. So it becomes not about can you trust him or her. This is impossible to do. Once you learn to know yourself, you can trust yourself. And then you don't have to try to figure out who it is that you can trust, because you can trust yourself. And your own inner guidance system will never lead you astray. So again, we have to work the opposite of the way distractions harness the life force, which is your attention, which then creates the inner and outer world. And this drone situation is a perfect example to start to understand how reality creation actually works. And it's that trifecta of desire, intention, and attention. And once we start to have control or understanding of desire, intention, and attention, nothing and no one can mess with you, ever. We have the tangible experience of being an immortal creator, which is what we really are, and not an endless consumer. It is our attention that is required for these outer realities to be built. Well, what happens if you don't give it your attention and your life force? Think about a relationship. You come home from work, you walk right past your partner, you go into your room, you turn on the TV, right? You completely and utterly ignore your partner. You give your partner no attention. Well, okay, that relationship isn't going to last very long, is it? Why? It's not getting any energy. It's going to wither and die. Really take in what I just said. What starts to happen if we don't react? Now, I mentioned before, I'm teaching a class on how to put yourself on the highest timeline. This is directly related to that. I'm going to go over the signs that you're putting yourself on a higher timeline, what a timeline even is, and how it actually works, because that word has been thrown around by people that have no tangible understanding of it. They heard it, they repeat it because it sounds good, so they just mimic. They just mimic it. They don't have a tangible takeaway of it. What we're going to talk about in that class is the tangible takeaway. What I want for you is what you most desire to have the experience of for yourself. And you want your desire, and therefore harnessing your intention, which is your energy, based upon what is germane to you, not based upon what your attention is upon through distraction. That is consumerism, as opposed to being what you truly are, which is an ultimate unlimited creator being. Desire, intention, and attention. Click on the link below for the class. Click on the link below for the global meditations that we've been doing. And we've been doing these global meditations for this very reason, to create the reality that we truly desire to be the awareness and experiencer of. Not to create the reality based upon the distractions that we've put our attention on, which then grows because our attention is our life force. And then it gets built through our attention, desire, and intention. We are at a crucial turning point for the evolution of our consciousness, and understanding how reality creation works based upon desire, intention, and attention is absolutely vital for us to create the life that we most desire, and for us collectively to create the outer reality that we most desire for ourselves. And the first step we can take is to not to allow distractions to siphon off our life force by putting our attention on it when the answers don't even matter, because that finite mind is still the one in charge that's reaching out based upon feeling insecure for a sense of security to look something up to get an answer. Turn that around. Empower yourself, and you will completely and utterly disempower those who wish to harness your attention to build a reality that they want, not the one that you desire. Share this video with everybody, and I'll see you all very soon.